Now we're back.
Now we're here.
In the podcast studio from Illinois.
Episode 17. This is crazy. Let us tell you why this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We have been in this studio for 17 episodes.
Yeah, and we haven't left the studio.
Once.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Which has been really cool, and we'll do a documentary about it sometime. How we have lived the past
17 episodes.
Months. Yeah, 17 episodes.
Yep.
3 months-ish.
It's been fun.
It's been great.
We haven't eaten actual food. We used like and when they put them in space and they get the tubes foods. We had the tubes foods. Yep.
Tubes foods. Yep. And we sleep right here on the floor with those little, also the NASA provides them, the little blankets, the foil blankets.
Yep.
So yeah, for sure.
We've lied multiple times already, and I'm sorry.
I was really hoping you guys would be able to tell that was, what do they call that? It's not a lie.
Fib?
No. It's like purposely exaggerating.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll think of the word, but let's keep going.
Yeah, but you can't put it past us is the thing. You just never know what we're going to do.
Right.
We're going to go to Colorado?
We're not sure yet.
Probably.
You think so?
I think we can make it happen now because I'm pretty sure I confirmed some things and I didn't tell you that yet.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about these plans until now in front of you guys, which that should make you really feel special.
It should make you feel special. It's been a week. We podcasted earlier this week on Tuesday, and when it was late podcast because we were going through some stuff for sure. But you know what? It's just there's still some heaviness in this community with the loss of a friend. But life just keeps chugging along, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful that I get to hang out with my best friend in the podcast studio.
Same. I forgot to tell you, this is a really sweet story. So I didn't even tell you Kyle is. See how much live updates you guys are getting? How much live update? How many live updates? So I can't even remember when this was. A couple weeks ago, maybe. My wife's best friend from Dubuque, her name is Caitlin, and our kids, since they've been born, because we've known Caitlin since we were in college. Shout out, Caitlin. Hope you're listening. Our kids have always referred to her as Auntie Kate. And it's adorable and cute and sweet. And then the other day, Bella goes, Dad, we can call Caitlin Auntie Kate since that's Mom's best friend. And we can call Kyle Uncle Kyle since he's your best friend.
Oh, my gosh. I'm referred to as Uncle now?
I don't think they have referred to you as that way.
It hasn't stuck yet?
Yeah, but I gave them permission to do so. So, isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
They see where you are on my priority list.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of pressure. So.
Yeah, I mean, don't butcher that. Don't.
I won't. That. I probably will not. What did we? I feel like something significant happened this week, but now I can't remember anything. You know?
Right.
One of those things.
Okay.
One of those things.
The theme of this episode, anyway, is Q&A with Kyle and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this week, we asked all of you to submit some questions for one another, which we both do not know the question. They were submitted privately to us.
Yep.
And so we are going to pose questions from you, the audience, the listeners, straight to the other person. And we're going to get some great content from that. I have no doubt.
Yeah. First question, how do you think Kyle let you be his good friend? Because he's so cool and everyone wants to be his best friend, but not everyone gets to.
Trying to think. Is there a name next to who submitted that one? Because that seems a little weird.
No. Get away from my questions.
I think it said Kyle Hubner.
So do you think... we all think Kyle is the coolest dude in the whole world. Do you think that too?
Is that question 2 or is that still?
That's still question
part
1. Multi-level question.
I don't really know. One day I didn't know Kyle, and then the next day I did. That's kind of really.
Is it easy to handle how handsome Kyle is?
Very. Next.
Okay, we can actually do have real questions though.
Do you?
Do you want one?
Sure.
Are
or do
you
you want
itching
me,
for
since
one?
You puked out 3
No,
horrible
these
ones.
ones
Do you
are
want me to
real.
go next?
Those were not horrible. They were just bad. Okay, here's the first one. When did you first know you wanted to be an actor?
Oh,
That's a real one. Please don't do that in the microphone.
Sorry. If you guys truly love me and support me through thick and thin, you will not tune out
Got a
after
lot
hearing
of
that.
thick mucus in his thin nose.
I will say, probably
Mm-hmm. 2019?
grade school. But I did not have what I knew it took to be an actor until high school. Let me explain. So my brothers and I used to set up a home video camcorder back in the day. It was literally the over-the-shoulder one.
The one you had to crank?
Older. I'm not that much older than Kyle, but we did have that old biggie, looks like you're on a news set kind of camera. So we would set that up in the corner of our basement. I can still see exactly where we'd set it on this counter. And we would film ourselves doing the craziest, most antic-y things ever. We did Three Stooges. We tried to do the Lord of the Rings, remake the Lord of the Rings. We practiced doing all sorts of visual effects and things like that. Mm-hmm. We were like little Steven Spielbergs roaming the basement. So fun. And that's where I learned, I love all of this. But I was super shy, very self-aware, and insecure. So then, this is hilarious. Literally, I think puberty changed a lot about me. One of them being my persona. Once I hit puberty in early high school, I think I was a freshman when I hit puberty. I didn't expect to be talking about puberty on this podcast. My apologies if
Well, we're going to title it that probably now. Puberty.
When Aaron hit puberty. So once that happened, I was a different person. All of a sudden, I was not inhibited. I was not afraid of making a fool of myself in front of people for the sake of laughing. All of that just kind of came. And then I was really interested in acting at that point. Did some drama in high school. Did a one-act festival where we went to Dordt College and participated in this one-act festival. Got some really good feedback there, and my drama teacher was really encouraging about you should pursue this. And then I didn't do it for a long time.
But here we are.
Till I was 30, and then I signed with an agency and got to act like I thought I was going to 14 years ago.
That's so crazy we're 30. Because I think about, I'm 26, and I'm like, what will I be doing when I'm 30? It's probably something completely different than I'm doing now.
You
it
think
just changes.
So?
Probably. I'll probably be doing the same things plus things.
Okay. That's really interesting.
But it could completely change at some point.
That's one of your questions.
Really?
This is funny. That's like a perfect segue.
Wow.
Where did it go? Oh, what do you think your future will look like?
Oh my gosh. Like future in 3 days, 3 years.
I guess it's up to interpretation.
30 years. I would say I have an entrepreneurial spirit, and so that makes it very variable. Huh?
Look at our arms.
I know, we're so cool right now.
Literally the same exact pose for those of you who are not watching. I just noticed. Even the fingers exposed
everything is
on
the
left
same.
side.
Everything was the same.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your question. I meant to interrupt my own, but
no,
go ahead.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm used to it, really.
You should be.
No, so I love business, and I love ministry, and I love people, and I love entertainment. I love all kinds of things. I love video games. And so you just put all those things together and you literally have no idea. I can't answer that with any amount of certainty, really. I think my plans change frequently.
Yeah.
So that's what I got.
I'll throw out a few things he's thinking about. He one day has a desire to create an ecosystem that
Yes.
combines all of his interests into one building, potentially.
Big building.
Because that's a passion of his to bring the different areas of his passions under one roof so that he can
Right.
focus on all of them rather than separate.
Well, okay, yeah, and here's the other thing is like I would like to be in a position where money is not really a thing and you can use it to invest in whatever ideas you have, but then implement people and teams to do the stuff. Like I don't want to do the day-to-day work for most things. I'd love to develop things. I like to create things and build them and watch them grow. Like that's my favorite thing to do. Not necessarily doing the same thing all the time. That drives me insane. And I think most people probably like that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Probably not. But I would like to then like fund other people's dreams and give them, business advice, hopefully some financial support and all those things so that they can pursue their dreams, because I've decided that I don't want to do it all. I have ideas that I'd like to implement, but I'd like other people to walk alongside me in those things. So I want to be like the owner, not the operator.
I like that, Kyle. That was really...
Yeah, that kind of got my juices flowing. But that's really my goal, I'd like to own an entrepreneurial incubator.
Oh, incubator.
Yeah. So basically you give people microloans to come and you help them to develop business plans and all the stuff, set it up, teach them some things that would be useful in owning a business, and then microloan so that they can start it and then kind of go from there.
See, I knew he had future plans. He just needed someone to kick him in the pants to get him out.
Lots of them. I have so many of them, though, is the thing.
I know. That's why I thought I'd just mention one.
I appreciate it because it really did get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Needless to say, the future for Kyle is bright. It's just so bright that we can't even see what it is yet.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Kind of.
Thank you.
And I really love watching other people pursue their passions. I think that's almost as fun to me, if not more fun, than doing it myself. Like seeing someone else thrive, someone else thrive in what they love doing is the coolest thing. Like seeing you do your thing and getting fulfillment out of it is so awesome.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
That's cool, Kyle. That's good quality.
And that kind of goes into the next question for you as well, which is, what's your long-term goal in your career?
We have the same question pretty much.
I bet it's from the same person.
Someone's got some interest in what the future holds for us.
And I bet
probably an investor.
I bet he got this shirt for me.
Is it Dre?
If it's Dre, what up, Dre? Thanks for the shirt, dog. It says dad joke loading, which is funny, dude.
It's so good.
Anyway,
that's a great fit for you, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the fit of the shirt. I mean, that's a good fit.
It's a good fit
in both ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kyle loves himself a dad joke.
I do.
There.
Yep.
Okay, so long-term goal is to, which I'm just starting to do, and I think I probably touched on this maybe on a previous podcast, but to market myself as, and not just market myself, but to be basically a triple threat in the entertainment industry, meaning I can act, I can write music, and I can market your film organically on social media. So I am just what is that?
Triple threat.
Triple threat. Thank you. That's in basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You can either shoot, pass, or dribble.
Yep.
Here we go. I am just starting to get people approaching me for different reasons. It used to be just music, because that's what I've been doing the longest. But lately, I've had 2 people reach out for social media to represent their brand and or their movie. And then as they were reaching out to find out about those things, they found out that I actually act and write music as well. So now they're considering me for those other things. Prime example, there's a movie that I'm being considered for the composer. And my acting agent reached out to them and said, well, yes, he can definitely try for the music, but he acts too. And the director was like, I had no idea he acts. Send me some of his stuff. So we sent them some of my stuff, and he said, fantastic. I will look for a role for him. So being able to, in one movie, act in it, write the music, and, market it for them on their behalf, to me would be so much fun, because I like all three of those things, and to be able to be that immersed into one movie, because I'm telling you, it's such a for those of you who have been to camp, when you go onto a movie set and you make all of these new connections and these new friends, it's super sad when you leave and you're like, that was too fast. And so to be able to immerse even more so into the making of a film, I think would be extraordinary. And to be able to do the three things that I really like consistently, that'd probably be my long-term goal.
And you want less, eventually it would be cool to do less of it, so you're not overwhelmed, for more money, right? So
that's probably well said.
Yeah.
I
think that's the case for most. You're an entrepreneur just in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the goal of the entrepreneur, is how do you do less and make more?
Right.
That's always the goal.
Right. Yep.
And then you can be super passionate about what you do produce instead of being stretched too thin.
That's very true.
That's also not a great thing.
Thank you, Kyle. That's good.
Yeah, come on. Here we go.
I have to narrow it down because I have to omit 3.
Oh, no.
What are some things you have to restrict and or push away from in your daily life?
Oh my gosh. Fast food.
Okay, next question.
No, I would say that's a tough question. Who the heck asked that?
That's a really good one.
Gosh, dang it.
We can come back to that one.
No, I mean, there's obvious things. I don't know how to answer that. I mean, I feel like that's pretty much the same for all followers of Christ for the most part,
Yeah.
There's just things you try to stay away from, and there's things you try to do and accomplish every day. But
I would say in general, the overarching key when it comes to those things, everybody, what they need to restrict in their life looks different.
Right.
And everybody knows what those things are. So I just feel like it's one of those things that you have to self-assess and self-analyze, be real with yourself, be honest with yourself about the things that need to go or need to be restricted, the things that you're tempted to spend too much time doing, and then the discipline of limiting yourself.
Yeah.
And very common. Everybody has to do that.
Right. And I think I would say most of the things that we do are fruitful in some way. Either they bring some sort of joy to us or to other people. That's kind of the goal. And then there's obviously sin that you stay away from. And I would say that's kind of broad spectrum of things, but that's the truth. You know, that's just kind of what we try to restrict ourselves from, is that. And how that looks is going to be different every day, for sure, because my days are never the same anyway. So, but someone was really getting deep there.
Very deep.
Holy smokes.
Yep.
But good question. All right, next question. Is there anything you can think of? I don't know. Maybe I just am not thinking hard enough about that.
Well, I think a lot. You know that.
That's true.
So if the question was for me, I'd be blabbing for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a blabber. Oh, this is a good one. Where did you learn your killer dance moves?
Well, thank you, first of all, for whoever submitted that wonderfully complimentary question.
Yeah. That was mine.
Just kidding. Kyle is a great question asker. I would say experience and genetics. Does that work? Is that helpful?
I don't know that dance moves are genetics.
My parents are very good dancers, and I did not dance until college. So
do you think it's overall athleticism, or do you think it's dancing exclusive?
I have very good rhythm. I have I think a natural.
Genetic, yeah.
I've had multiple people tell me that I probably could have been a dancer, and I've just never done it, and I've never studied it, never practiced it. I just dance at weddings. That's literally all the experience I've had.
Which is the most fun.
And you just let loose. I think that's probably why some people think I can do it, is because I just don't really care if I look dumb. And when you don't care, I think to a lot of people, it just translates as you can do it, because you're not too tight, you know?
Yep.
So the answer is I don't know.
Yeah,
But thank
not
you.
YouTube is the answer.
No, I don't.
Not
I've never studied dancing.
Nope.
in
I
any-
tried to learn the Dougie when I was younger, and also to Crank That Soldier Boy. Remember that song?
I think so.
Those were a couple I tried to learn when I was in middle school, but didn't go well because I just wasn't invested enough, I don't think.
Right. It does take investment.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who wants to dance and you just feel like you can't, just get out there and do it. That's my
Just do
advice.
it. No one gives a crud.
No one really
Life's
does.
too short. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Come
I'm just a
on,
little
eh.
slow on the
Come
draw. Little slow on the draw.
So,
So, Kai, what's the most daring thing you've ever done?
oh my gosh, being friends with Aaron.
I like that.
The most daring thing. Ooh, I can think of one thing. That was pretty daring. I think there's a lot of things, but we'll go with this one. So when we were in Hawaii couple of years ago, by we, I mean
said we.
myself and my friends Zach and Alex, and then some friends that we met there that we spent a lot of time with. Well, I met there. They had already known him a little bit. Military friend.
Got
And
it.
because Alex was in the military, this dude was stationed in Hawaii. We stayed with them on his couch with his husky, and it was great. Didn't know this guy at all, and I stayed in his house for 2 weeks.
That's the best way to
Right?
start.
For free.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was daring in itself, I guess. The whole trip was kind of just like that because we're all just kind of thrill seekers a little bit. And there was this one, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was this hike, really long hike. It's probably like a 3-mile hike into the rainforest. And it was very clayey, I remember, and it was raining, so it was super slippery. And we get up to this ginormous waterfall. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then you can climb. So you could go up on top of the waterfall, but you could also climb next to the waterfall. And so we climbed up there, and there's like these signs. It's just like, don't jump. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it. Just please don't jump. And then you get up to the top, and you look down, and it's like, I don't know, how many feet? 60 feet? 80 feet in the air? Is that pretty high?
That's very high. I hope it wasn't that high.
60?
That's like 8-story building.
Yeah, it was high. Like you got a little nauseous when you looked down. And I have a video of it, like recording the sign and then recording Zach as he like jumps off and he's like floating in the air. It was so cool. Anyway, that was probably the most daring thing I did because he didn't really know how deep the water was, and Zach went first, so I knew it was deep enough.
He didn't splat, so
I don't know if you've ever jumped off of something high, like cliff dove before or anything, into water. First of all, it was the most beautiful scene ever. It was like out of a movie for real. But it hurts your butt so bad. Oh my gosh, does it hurt your butt?
Aren't you supposed to land on your feet?
Well, you kind of like pencil dive, but it's like you kind of angle as you go in.
Pa-ta-boom.
Yeah, and you smoke your butt cheeks on the water.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's probably how some people get those little like things.
Probably
like
is,
eat your
yep.
body.
Yeah.
What do they call those? Tapeworms and stuff like that? What do they call? They go in any space.
Parasite.
Parasite. Oh, sorry, that was loud.
Shh.
Parasites. They find any entrance they can, and I would think water shooting up there could invite that.
It hurts, but it was so much fun. That whole trip was.
I'm sorry, I just
the
totally
coolest.
hijacked that with
No,
parasites.
that's okay.
Kyle,
That's okay.
you forgive me?
I will.
Yeah.
By the end of this.
By the end of this podcast,
episode,
thank you.
I might have. So that was daring. They asked for the most daring. That was probably it.
That's sounds fun and terrifying, which is what daring things typically are.
Can I tell you a story though, real quick about?
Yeah,
also?
sure. Double dip,
So
Kyle.
we were also still in Hawaii. I was snorkeling. That's what it's called. Through this coral reef, but it was like on a military base, so it's a private coral reef. Like only military members and their families and friends can go. Okay, and just kind of desolate. It's not like super crazy cool coral. It's just giant pieces of coral. And I'm swimming through. It's like a maze kind of, and if you touch it, it would scratch your arm and make you bleed, and it hurts so bad. But we got to this big opening, and there was these giant sea turtles just all over the place, going, just like chilling. It's like on Nemo, you know, when you see the Nemo sea turtles, that's what it was like, dude. Yeah, literally, just the most chill. Like, you could go up and touch them, and they didn't care. And there's probably like 15 of these things. Humongous. I was so happy. I'd never been more happy. And the funny thing is I had my my phone in a Ziploc bag because I was trying to get some like video underwater, and the Ziploc bag immediately filled up with water, and like my phone didn't work for a couple days after that. And so I got like a little bit of recording beforehand when I was just going through the coral, and then get to the sea turtles and my phone's broken, not working. I know. I'm like, are you kidding me? What are the chances? But then it did help me like just enjoy the moment more, I think.
Right. Yep.
So anyway, back to you.
Man.
Next question for Aaron.
Kyle in Hawaii.
What's the top of your bucket list? Top item on your bucket list? Something you want to do more than anything else in the whole world.
I would have said meet John Williams. I think that's been on my very high up on my bucket list since high school. So I guess I would say that. John Williams, the film composer. He wrote the music for Star Wars, all that kind of stuff. I saw him in concert when I was 18 years old. And that was the night when I watched him conduct the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, where I said to myself, I'm going to be a film composer. I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be a film composer. And John Williams is the man who inspired that.
And you really want to meet him?
I really want to.
And he's alive.
Meet him and thank him. He's 90. What is he now?
914.
He's 90 years old. So,
wow.
Yeah, I've gotten close. I've met his orchestrator. I saw his Star Wars Episode 8 scores, handwritten scores in a studio in Woodland Hills, California, as it was being orchestrated. So I saw his handwriting right up close and personal and talked to his orchestrator about how amazing he was. But that's it. I have not met him. But I would say, at least the first thing that's at the top of my mind, that would be the one.
I get it. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't know.
You know the heroes in your life? Those are the ones you typically. I'm like, you want to thank them for inspiring you.
Dr. Seuss was one of those for me.
Not surprised. Not surprised. The
guy who wrote SpongeBob.
I know you did. When did you become a Christian?
I was 16 in high school. It's funny. So it stemmed out of I liked a girl, and the girl went to church, and the rule was that she couldn't date anyone that didn't go to church. So that was my motive for going to church at first. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or lie about it. But then what happened is I got really close to the youth pastor there. His name is Steve Van Wy, and he kind of we just like to hang out, but he was really mentoring me kind of the whole time as well. And then met another guy named Tom at the same church, and then also my uncle played a pretty big part in it to actually make my faith genuine. And they were kind of the example of what it was like to follow Christ, and then decided to passionately follow Christ following that. So I was probably 17-ish when it was really starting to kind of take hold in my life. Did not grow up in the church. I believed in God. Like, that was kind of my parents' thing, is, God created everything. They believe in Jesus dying for their sins, and they believe in heaven. And then that's kind of where it is, I think that's where they probably still lie. And so we're working on it. We're getting there. But, so yeah, that wasn't like a thing I was born into at all. Made the decision when I was a teenager. Got baptized the same day I graduated high school.
Same day?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. May 21st, 2015. Yep. So, super cool.
You graduated in 2014.
Nope. 2015. Class 2015, buddy.
I have been lied to all my life.
Only for the past couple of years. You didn't know me before that. But, yeah, and then Christ completely changed my life forever and ever and ever. And he saved my life, obviously. And I'm thankful for it. And here we are.
Here we are.
8 years later. 8, 9, probably around 9 years. 9 years, and everything's different. I mean, the path that I was once on is no longer the path that I have been on, nor will be on the rest of my life. and praise God for that.
Amen.
So, didn't know it at the time, but he saved my life. Yeah, it was a good question. Thank you to whoever asked that question. That's a good question. And that's actually the same question for you.
Is it really?
Yeah. When did you get to know the Lord?
I was raised in the quote unquote the church, but my parents are what you would call first generation Christians, and so I think a big part of what shaped me, that I think a lot of people who didn't have the same experience with Christianity, because a lot of people who do grow up in the church and have generationally don't really, I would say, appreciate what they have. And then typically many leave it because they kind of resent what it has become. And it, when people who are bitter towards the church think of the church, they think of legalism and, abuse that happens in the church and those kind of things, greed. And those things happen when, there's not a genuine love for Jesus Christ in that church or in these individuals who perpetrate these behavior traits. So for my parents, they were so fresh, meeting the Lord when they started having kids. I think my dad was 27 and my mom was 31. And so everything was new to them. They were so thrilled to have finally found what they had been looking for their entire lives. My mom and dad had a very, very rough go. Early on in their marriage, they did not intend the path that they started on. They got, I'll just put it this way. Their marriage was on the rocks. People were making bets at my dad's workplace how long their marriage would last. And they just were not compatible at all. And Christ changed my father first, and my mom noticed that there was a genuine change. And so she's like, okay, I want whatever you have in your life that's helping you change, because I need to change. So they had this fire when I was a young person, and still have that fire, I would say, of just being rescued from hopelessness. And that's what Christianity is all about. It's given so many different, bad names, when in actuality, it's all about Christ coming to this earth to give us hope and purpose and life eternal. And when those are the things that you focus on, it's just absolutely contagious. And so I'm grateful to my parents for them raising me amidst that newfound fire that they had, which really impacted me. And I think prevented me from making a lot of the same mistakes that they did. They were very intentional about saying, listen, we tried pretty much everything the world is going to say does it for you. Don't bother. Been there, done that, and regret it deeply. So I'm just very grateful. I've said that about 4 or 5 times now, but it's true, for my parents' influence. And then, when you're young, you do have the temptation of just being like, check things off the list. I went to a Christian school. I went to church. I had Christian friends. But I feel like I grew the most. And then I went to Bible college. After college, early marriage, and beyond. I would say the past decade of my life, growth-wise with my relationship with the Lord, has been exponentially greater than ever before, which is, I think, mainly because life has a way of revealing very quickly what's important and what's not important, and what's going to get you through the really ugly, ugly times of your life. And it's not all the stuff that I thought would, or, envisioned. I just was very idealistic, I think, when I was thinking about life, and following the Lord was easy early on. And so I think over time it gets either one way or the other. Either you walk away from him or you get closer to him because you realize, whoa, life isn't quite what I expected. So yeah, Christ has been there for me through a lot of junk, and I can't imagine life without him.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Boom, bada bee. Was that 5?
That was 5. That was your 5th. I think.
That was my 5th. Did I do 5 for you? Okay, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 for you. I think you want to for me.
There's 2 or 3 that are kind of silly.
I don't like silly.
I know you hate silly.
Wow, that sounds terrible. I hate being silly. Oh, ha, 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 ha.
How many new ideas do you have in one day, and what determines if you pursue one?
Oh my gosh. Did you make that up, or was that an actual question?
It was an actual question.
Who asked it? I want to know.
I'm trying to remember. Go ahead. That's you stalling. That's what you're doing.
Oh, no. Okay, well, ideas. I have big ideas and I have small ideas.
Some medium.
So, yeah, some medium.
Some right in between.
Okay, so this is how my life goes. I will have multiple good ideas, and then you'll know that I'm pursuing one if I talk about it for maybe more than a week. Because I might talk about something for about a week, and then if it kind of disappears, then you're like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But new ideas, like fresh ideas, big, like for instance, this termite thing that's about to be happening, or new gym, like those things, they happen semi-frequently, but they change a lot. Like the new gym, it's like, I know I'm going to create another gym at some point, Lord willing, but I don't know where it's going to be yet. I know the equipment's going to come from. Like I have some things lined up, but there's still so many variables to figure out. So those are constant ideas that I'm thinking about. How do we best do that before I make a decision that's huge? Because it is a big decision. It's going to take a lot of time and money and effort and building a lot of teams and systems and all the stuff. But I love it. Like I'm super excited about it. There's just so many pieces that need to fall into place first. And so those will change constantly until the right one happens. And then when it does happen, I'll do it hard and I'll do it fast and I'll do it well, you know? I'll try anyway. That's the goal, to develop it so that I can kind of be hands off of it in like a few months, and then it can just do its thing. That's ideal. Termite thing. It's a pretty simple idea that I just imagine is going to create some excess cash flow that we can use for other projects. It's not like I'm not passionate about termites.
He really is.
I love termites. They're my favorite bug. They're my favorite critter.
It's hard for him to. I'll just take over for a sec. It's really hard for Kyle to talk about some of the things that he's really passionate about that maybe don't fit into what normal people are passionate about. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck right here in this seat listening to Kyle talk about how much he loves termites. And it's something. It's really something to behold. And he wouldn't tell you that. And I knew he wouldn't tell you that.
They're just so cute. And the way they eat wood.
I know, Kyle.
It's just amazing.
Trust me, I've heard everything you have to say. But so don't let him fool you. He's really passionate about it.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll have little ideas that I can implement right away, and those are sometimes my favorite because it's just I get excited. It's like a short burst of excitement. New gym, termite business. That's like a big excitement thing. That's a big thing. But sometimes I'll have little ideas that I'm like, oh, that's gonna work really well for XYZ, and I'm gonna do it now, and then that gives me something to do. And I have some sort of like I don't think it's probably OCD. I don't know what you would say it is, but if I have something like that, I'm going to do it until it's done, and I can't. Otherwise, I know I'll be thinking about it until it's done. And so I made this email marketing thing the other day, and it didn't take very long, but I think it's going to be I think it's going to help with retention well. I think it's going to help with new memberships a little bit, probably more with retention, which is hard. But it was one of those things where I had the idea and I'm like, yep, I'm just going to do it. And then I did it. And I had there's this book and it references the 1 second rule. And it's like you have 1 second to act on something a lot of times. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. And I think that's
not stressful at all.
No, right? But I mean,
there it went.
Yeah, right. Gone. But that's really, think about it. Like you have 1 moment to act on it. Otherwise, you're probably going to forget about it. A lot of times, a lot of smaller ideas. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of, it's like a burpee. Okay. This is for all you people who hate burpees and working out. Every time that I'm doing burpees, and this is real, and I tell my people this too, is when I'm on the floor, I have 1 second to get back up and continue and go to the next rep. Because otherwise I'm just going to lay there because I'm tired and I don't want to do the next rep. And I'm mentally defeated. So I'm like, I have 1 second to decide to get back up. And then I'll go back down and be like, 1 second, get back up, go back down, 1 second, get back up. And it's a mentality thing. Anyway, there's your tip for the day. You get 1 second. Use it well.
Sounds stressful.
I know. I love stress. Stress is fun.
Mm-hmm. How many seconds
Those are good questions.
have you played Call of Duty?
Today?
Is that longer than 1 second?
Today?
Yeah.
None.
Really?
0 seconds.
Not even the early hours of this morning?
Nope. Didn't play yesterday. Didn't play today.
Really?
Didn't play Friday. I haven't played in like 3 days.
Just kidding. It was a joke.
I haven't played in 3 days, Fallen.
It was.
Am I going to play tonight? Yes, absolutely. 1,000% yes. Do I look forward to it? Yes, I do look forward to it. Is it one of my favorite things to do? Yes, it is one of my favorite things to do. But I also got to get some work done.
Amen. Also, this past week, we watched the Magi film I was in.
Yes, we did.
It was a rough cut. They released the full version today,
Oh.
I guess. Last night's service and this morning's service. It's for a church in Modesto, California. They have like 4 services or probably 3 or 4 services. So it premiered yesterday and premiered today. So they'll probably give me a link to the full version sometime soon, which I will share with all of you.
You guys can each watch it.
Here you can watch it.
Make some
But
popcorn.
Kyle hosted here at at our studio /
My living room.
the cinema of his living room.
Yep.
And we also he was also welcomed into a family tradition of ours. We go on watch Christmas lights. We drive around, look at all the best displays, and sip hot cocoa.
With some peppermint. Oh,
It was
so good.
So good.
Tabby Fullen.
And shout out.
Goat.
She is the goat. So that was fun. And that's this last week. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah,
else
they
did we
made
do?
me a black bean burger
Oh, we did that
also
too.
that night, and it was so good. The sauce on top too. Aaron makes a special sauce for black bean burgers, and
Very
it's
special.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And it has pickle juice in it, and Kyle hates pickles, so it says a lot about the sauce.
I've had pizza probably 5 of 7 days this week, and
Whoa.
cookies.
Whoa.
And I forget what we were talking about, but I was like, yeah, I've been eating like kind of clean. He's like, no, you haven't. Like, you tell me what you eat, and it's pizza and cookies. And I'm like, yeah, but I also have a salad that day. And it's true. I do always have a salad for lunch. And for breakfast, I'll have like a steam anchor bagel with some egg and turkey and stuff, little protein. And then I'll have a salad. And then for dinner, I have pizza and cookies. And it works well. Like, I feel great. And I'm staying like moderately lean, which is good, and I can enjoy it.
I have questions, but we're running out of time.
5 more questions?
I like what's really fun about doing this podcast for me. One of the things is I hear Kyle say things so confidently and so matter-of-factly, and then I really, I've spent a decent amount of time with him, and I'm able to like replay certain things he's said in my mind that don't quite fit what he's saying.
Uh-huh.
And it's really fun.
Yeah.
really,
I'm an astigmatism.
really enjoy it.
He
That's
calls
all
me
I'm
an
gonna say.
he calls me an astigmatism because I'm wishy-washy.
I called him an enigma.
Oh, yeah.
He was, an astigmatism. So then I put him in my phone as Kyle the Enigmatism,
That's funny.
which was great for a while.
Now it's Kyle with the bloody toe still.
Now it's Kyle with the bloody toes and it's a picture of his toe because he, have we talked about this?
I don't know.
Multiple times.
Yeah. We named a podcast episode after it.
Oh, that's right. So referring back to that, Kyle has had a heck of a time finding shoes that don't rip his feet apart. So
What? This past
when you
one
do
was
though,
the
will you
shoes.
let me know so I can update your contact?
The past one was a shoe. The previous ones
excuse
were my toe was sideways jamming into the other toe.
Oh, so it's multiple. It's not just shoes. Sorry.
That was
It's just,
I hit my toe playing basketball really hard on a guy's foot, like his heel, and it like the end of my toe was pointing this direction and digging into my other toe and making this one bleed, and this one was broken.
Yeah.
And then we straightened it out and we taped them, and now they're good. Anyhow.
But you will tell me when everything's good.
No. No.
No. Okay. All right. Well, that's good. But anyway, it's been good, Kyle. It's been fun
been
asking
fun.
questions. Thank you for everybody
Yes.
who submitted questions. Oh my gosh, I had to
Yes.
take ones out. I had to
Yes.
pull some because we were just so inundated with such great questions.
Thousands.
Next week is Christmas, so Merry Christmas.
We have Miss Merry Christmas. Wow.
Because this premieres,
Tuesday and
Tuesday
Sunday's
and
Christmas.
Sunday's Christmas. So Merry, on behalf of us, ho ho ho. If you're watching me online, which I hope you are, I kind of am Christmassy because I thought this is appropriate for the Christmas episode. This is practically, why didn't we do a Christmas themed episode? Now I'm feeling really dumb that we're just squeezing this in right at the end. Merry
Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. We're going to redo it, the whole thing.
Let's scratch this one.
I need my Santa hat.
But seriously, I hope you have a wonderful, warm exchange with your family, with warm food.
And remember that Jesus is the reason for the season, you know? Jesus is the reason for the season.
It was going so well until you threw that cliche in.
No, but Jesus is
Well,
the
of
reason for the season.
It's so true, Kyle, but there's better ways to say it.
Remember that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Kyle, why don't you tell everyone how much you love them, and then we'll sign
And if you
off.
guys forget what the reason is, remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. And then if your parents ask you what's the reason for the season, you say Jesus is the reason for the season. Oh, it's been real fun here. Aaron has left us, but hey, we love ya even if we don't know ya, and we will see you guys soon in our corner of the podcast studio.